finally, just in the spirit of trying to see some bipartisan agreement, which I think American people really want, I was surprised when I saw some of your comments opposing Kevin Warsh to be the next Fed chair. You know, it's someone that, you know, his first time around as governor, he was brought to the floor by Senator Schumer at the time. It was a long time ago. But why is this someone? Do you not think he's qualified?
Well, my concern is that Kevin Warsh has made his whole career being an inflation hawk. He is the guy who, even after the crash in 2008, was no, don't lower interest rates. We got to keep those interest rates high. If you said, Kevin Warsh, what would you say about interest rates? High interest rates. That's what he believes in. Right up until he thinks he's got a shot at being named Donald Trump's chairman of the Federal Reserve. And at that moment, Kevin Warsh does a 180-degree turn. And he says, lower those interest rates, lower those interest rates. He even goes on Fox News and parrots a bunch of fake stuff about lowering costs and how Trump has lowered costs for American consumers. What that tells me is that Kevin Warsh is not a guy who'll make an independent economic decision. It tells me Kevin Warsh is a sock puppet. He knows what Donald Trump wants. Donald Trump has already said.
You know, economists change their views on policy all the time. When the facts change, I mean, you yourself, you argued for lower interest rates before and were critical of Powell, and now, you know, and more recently, you've been critical of the low interest rates because you think it's Trump.
Kevin Warsh, following the 2008 crash, was the guy who still wanted to keep interest rates up. Those are kind of facts change. He has been a high interest rate guy in good times, in bad times, in scary times, in happy times. It has been his one constant until he wanted the job of Fed chair. And then he said, I will say whatever Donald Trump wants me to say, because that is the test for the job. And I don't think having a sock puppet as the head of the Federal Reserve preserves Fed independence, and ultimately, I think that's really bad for our economy.
So would you be in favor of anyone that this president would present to be the next Fed chair?
Well, one of the questions I would ask is just tell me a place where you disagree with Donald Trump. Because so far, the people who've been coming through the banking committee for everything, Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, FDIC, when I ask this question, they just look at me like, oh, gosh, that never even crossed their minds. Because their sole job is to do whatever Donald Trump tells them to do. We need financial regulators who are insulated. I understand they are political appointees, but I'd like to think they have just a little bit of integrity and that they actually will follow the economic analysis and the economic numbers and do what they think is best rather than whatever is whim of the day for Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, you ask the Democrats the same thing. I wonder if you'll get different answers when they're presented. I remember when Kamala Harris famously said she didn't disagree with anything that President Biden did when she was running.
That's right, and everybody heard her on that. Here's the thing. If you really want to do something that's bipartisan, let me just point out, we've got Road to Housing that I worked on with Senator Tim Scott. It's all about building more housing supply, 40 different provisions in it. Got it through the Banking Committee unanimously, got it through the United States Senate unanimously, and yet the bill is just sitting here. Donald Trump and the House Republicans haven't done anything to move that bill forward. We want to see more housing supply. We want to drive down the cost of housing. There's a bipartisan gift in front of the American people ready to go. All we need is a president of the United States who will push those House Republicans and actually make something happen, not just for the billionaires, but make something happen for families all across this country.